First quarter action as Nick Cressy hits a turnaround jumper here. Warriors down 3-2 early. Chillicothe with the ball as Juan Miller knocks down the smooth pull-up jumper. Cavs up by 3. Mid-second quarter now as Julian Staleman can't get the finish, but Chase Lupartis is right there to clean it up. He had a big night. Staleman was feeling it as well as he lines up the corner jumper and buries it late in the first half to give Warren the lead. To the second half now, where Caden Cox spins into the paint, misses the first attempt, but gets his own rebound and gets it to go through some contact. Really nice finish there. End of the third quarter, and that's Hayden Wells hitting the buzzer beater. Warriors have some momentum now going into the fourth. Staleman here pulls up from deep and finds the bottom of the net. A clutch three that cuts the Warriors deficit to 5. Late fourth quarter now as Lupartis gets a second chance opportunity and gets the hoop plus the harm. Warriors would go on to win in overtime 72-69.